Hello, welcome to IT Online Trainings for you. Today we will see how to we commit the code and how we are going to manage Git repositories and how can we build a CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous deployment by using Azure DevOps in MuleSoft. Okay, I would like to create a four video series for this topic because it's a little bit different, little bit long topic. I would like to show you from step by step. So if I can make it as a one video, it will be so long. So I will split this in four parts. This is our first part of Azure DevOps CI/CD process in MuleSoft. In this video, we will discuss what are the different Git repositories and how to we create, configure our Azure DevOps and our local settings, Git settings for that. So in our next video, we will create all the pipelines and all. Okay, so I will explain what is Azure DevOps CI/CD and what are the different repositories. I would like to explain this by using one pictorial representation which I have designed. See, basically, once we are done with the development of our code, we need to commit our code to one central repository, right? Until unless the code is there in central repository, the code should not be there in our local developer machine for a long time, right? We need to keep our code somewhere which is globally accessible to all our developers and for a backup purpose. Okay, so in Git, actually, our Azure DevOps is act as a central repository here. In our example, I would like to show you Azure DevOps is a central repository and Git is our local repositories. Okay, what happens is like we have one central repository in Azure DevOps, and let's assume that these are the three developers: developer 1, developer 2, developer 3, who are going to work on the same code which is there in that central repository. In general, in real time, what we can do is like we need to first create one local repositories of each developer machine. So developer 1 will create local repository in his machine, developer 2 will create local repository in his machine. Then what developer will do is like developer will need to clone the code. It means like they need to uh, pull the code from that global repository to local repository. Global repository is a central code backup. We should not do changes directly in this central repository. We need to just clone that code into our local machine, I mean into our laptop by using this local repository. Then developer can work on this code. So once we are done with the coding and local testing is done, what we have to do, we need to commit our changes to our local repository first, which means like it's there in our GitHub local repository of developer system. That won't be available for this central repository. Okay, every day or for every feature or every user story, what you can do is like you can clone the code from the central repository to your machine, and you can work on it and do all your code changes. Then you need to commit that code to your local repository, and you need to push this code to the central repository. So that's actually the developer role ends for that code. Okay, so likewise all the developers will do the same process. Like if developer want to work on the same code, they need to pull these code changes from the central repository to his machine, and then he can work on this code, and then once he is done with the coding and modification, he need to commit here, and then he need to push those changes to central repository. This is how the GitHub repository structures will looks like. To do that, to do this setup, what we have to do is like we need to create one Azure DevOps account here, and we need to install the GitHub as a local repository in our local system. These two steps we need to configure. We'll do that in our this part 1 video. Then in next video, upcoming videos, what we are going to discuss is what are the different Git branches and how the work will do, and how can we build different how can we build a complete CI/CD pipeline for MuleSoft deployment by using Azure DevOps. Okay, so okay, let's see. Once the code is committed to this central repository, then central repository also have different branches actually. Okay, let's say if I need to work on one user story in my development, what I have to do is like I need to create one branch. GitHub has a different branches for each and every environment, and for each and every feature we can create one feature branch. Okay, so let's say I would like to work on one user story 1 2 3. I will create one feature branch on top of this dev branch. Dev branch has the code which is running in our dev environment. Okay, so I need to create one feature branch from that dev branch. Then I can do this work, and that feature branch actually in my local repository I will do this and commit to the central repository. I commit the central repository of feature branch. Feature branch will be available, one is in your local repository and one is your central repository. Okay, so whenever I commit my code to my local repository, what it will do behind the scenes is like the code will be available in my feature branch of local repository. When I push the changes to central repositories, central repository, what it will do is like my local repository feature branch will be pushed to the feature branch of central repository. So now my feature branch of my central repository, from these here, all the steps you can remember, this is related to the central repository only, not for the local repository. Okay, so once the code is available to the remote repository, I mean central repository of our feature branch, then the developer need to raise a pull request. Okay, okay, feature branch is actually specific to each and every developer, but dev branch is specific to our development environment. Okay, so once the code is available in our feature branch, developer need to create a pull request. It means like they need to push these changes from feature branch to developer branch, development branch. Okay, once the PR is approved, PR is nothing but pull request. Once the PR is approved by the code reviewers and all, or tick leads or code reviewers, they need to verify your code and they need to approve the code. Once the code is PR is approved, then the code is available in dev branch. It means like the feature branch updated code is committed to the development branch. Here the actual CI/CD process will come into picture. So once the code is committed to, I mean checked into my development branch, it should take the updated code, then it should build that code as a jar by using this maven commands and all. It need to build the executable jar file. Then the jar file should be deployed to my Cloud Hub development environment. Manually what we can do in a earlier for the manual deployments, what we will follow is we took the updated code and we can manually generate the jar file and deploy to our Cloud Hub deployment. But this is automated continuous integration and continuous deployment. What it means was the code is continuously developed and committed to this branch, and it will be generate this jar file whenever the new code comes into the this branch. Then it will automatically deploy the updated code to the Cloud Hub environment. Okay, this is called continuous integration and continuous development, continuous deployment. Okay, continuously if any feature branch he need to commit here, it will automatically pick up the updated code from the development branch within seconds. Then it will build a jar, executable jar, and it will deploy that to the Cloud Hub. So this will happen as a never ending process. This is how we can achieve the Azure DevOps continuous integration, continuous deployment in MuleSoft. Okay, let's see step by step. In this part 1 video, we will discuss about these repositories and how we can commit the code, pull the code, push the code from the remote and local repositories. Okay, in our part 2 video, we will discuss about these branches and how to build this pipeline. And in our third video, we will see how to build this release pipeline and what is the release pipeline and how to build that. And finally, in our part 4 final video, we will see how we can achieve it end to end from continuous testing. End to end testing and end to end discussion we will discuss in our last video. Okay, so let's start our part 1 video. So to create this Azure DevOps Cloud Hub account, you need to create Azure DevOps account by using your Microsoft credentials. I'll provide you these links and steps in our description box. Okay, you need to just open this and go to sign in Azure DevOps. If you have already Microsoft account, then that is fine. Otherwise, you need to create one account here by using your Gmail account. Okay, so I'm creating one account now by using my Gmail. Here you can set up a password. It will send you a verification code. You need to provide that in order to complete this registration. This is a captcha actually you need to enter in order to complete this setup. Yeah, now we are good to go. We use this account actually. Just for the beginners, I'm showing this step by steps. Otherwise, if you are aware of creating account and all, you can ignore this. You can ignore till this step. Okay. Okay. Meanwhile, it is setting up our Azure DevOps account. Let's download a GitHub and let's install it in our local machine. That is used as a local repository. To install that, this is the URL where you are going to download your GitHub. According to your system credentials, you can download it. It will download the executable file. We need to install it. Okay. Okay, let that GitHub is getting downloaded. Meanwhile, let's go back to our Azure DevOps account. This is our Azure DevOps account. This is how it looks like. As this is a fresh account, it don't have any projects and any repositories actually. So let's create one sample project. You need to create this private or public project. I'll create this private until unless I'll give access to the other users, it won't be available for others. Okay, just click on create project. In real time, in your real time client projects, they will create this project and they will give you access for this repositories and all. Okay, as this is a fresh practice account and this will be valid for only 30 days, like our cloud hub account, it will be valid for 30 days. So keep monitor your account status. Okay, so this is how Azure DevOps looks like. To commit our code and to create repositories, what we can do is like we are actually going to use this repositories section. You can create new repository actually. That repository is nothing but the central repository. Okay, we need to create one central repository. Just click here, click on new repository. I can give any API name actually. Let me give this demo system API. Just for your naming standards, I'm actually giving this. You can give any other name here. Click on create. So this is how your repositories will central repositories look like by default. By default it will create a master branch, okay, which is nothing but the basic branch. We need to create this sit branch, dev branch and feature branch accordingly. Okay, so these are all the remote repositories. Let's create one development branch. For now it is a plain repository, we don't have any code. If this is a fresh one, right? Let me create a dev repository. And usually whenever a developer want to work on any other feature, what he will do is like he will create one feature branch on top of dev branch. So this is our development branch, right? We can create a new branch by clicking this. See, based on development branch we will create one feature branch. Let's say if my user story is user story, I'll come to the user story and all we will discuss later. Let's say we can give today name just for our understanding. So this is our feature branch because in July 10 I am actually working on this branch. So let's create this branch. This is our remote feature branch. We need to create one same we need to clone this feature branch in our local repository as just we discussed. Okay, so this okay, till here actually we have set up all the Azure DevOps remote repositories and branches. Okay, so let's go back to our Git page. This is getting downloaded. This Git, if you have remembered, this Git is for just local repository to create and commit the code and to play with all the Git commands. This is getting downloaded. Let's install it. You need to double click on this actually. Once you double click on this executable file, it will start the installation. As Azure DevOps is the cloud account, we don't need any manual installations. This is a installation we need to install in your local system. Just accept all the defaults and click on install. It will take maybe a couple of minutes. So let's wait for the installation to be completed. Or else I can pause my video here and I'll resume once the installation is complete. Yeah, to create this Git local repository, and we need to make a sync between the central repository and local repository. To do that, what we can do, you can just create one normal folder. I have created this normal folder in my E drive. Right click on it, go click on Git bash here. Here we need to sync up with my email ID to this Git. To do that, we have a command by git config hyphen global user dot email, and within quotations you need to provide the email ID with which you have created this Azure DevOps account. Okay, click on enter. See, now it actually link up with my email account. Now the next step is like you need to initialize the Git repository for your local project. It means like you need to make sure you need to make the GitHub understand that this repository, this folder is for your Git projects. Okay, so to do that, what we have to do, you need to give git init. This will initialize the folder that will treat as a local Git repository. It will create a .git directory which is a hidden directory. So let's try. See, initialized empty git repository in this folder. If you can observe, it will once we enter this command, it will automatically create .git folder. Now my local repository and the global repository is get are in sync. Now what we can do is like, if you remember here in the, let's go back to the diagram. So here what we have to do, this is our first step. So we have configured our we have set a by using this config command, we have make a link between these two repositories, and we have initialized the directory. Now the next step is like, we need to clone that repository, we need to clone the central repository to our local repository. It means like, if for now this is an actually empty directory, this feature branch doesn't contain any files here. Okay, in real time what we have to do is like, we need to clone this branch to our local to get this code into your local system. For that we have another command, which is git clone. Okay. Git clone, and the URL you need to select from here. If you can see, you need to clone this project, to clone this repository into your local system, right? You need to just click on this clone, it will provide your URL. Here you will find a copy button, you just need to click on it, it will get copy, and right click here, paste that clone one. So it is cloning demo system API. It means this demo system API repository will be available in my local system. For the first time it will ask for the credentials. Here actually it is cloning it. Okay, if you can go back to your folder, it will create a demo system API, which is the same name with the same repository, central repository name. It will create a local repository name, and here actually your code resides. If you want to work on any code, if you want to commit code changes to this repository, you need to place the files here, and we need to commit the files to your local repository. Then we need to push these changes to remote repository. Hope you understand the difference between local and remote repository. So this is how actually you need to work with global and local repository. Let's try to commit some code. For now, for testing, let's create one test file here. This is a text file. Here I'll just give a sample name. This is test. Let me save it. And if you can see, this file is I have just created in my local system, that is not available in our feature branch here. I mean in our central repository the file is not there. Okay, we need to commit this file to check what are the different files we have available in our local repository. You can use git status command. It will show you like what are the different files. We need to actually add these files to local repository. To do that, git add, you can use git add star command. It will add the uncommitted files to your local repository. Add star actually will give you add all the files to your local repository, or you can use like git add dot. Now let's see what are the different files. You can go back to your folder. Now you need to commit this file with some message. You need to pass the message by using -m attribute. See, one file changed, so the one file is getting committed. But even though that won't be available in your central repository, you need to this file is actually committed to your local repository. You need to push these changes to central repository. To do that, we can use git push origin. Before that, actually we need to add this origin to our system. Origin is nothing but the central repository. Central repository branch, we need to add it here actually. To do that, we can add by using git remote add origin, and in the quotations you need to provide URL of your central repository, just like that cloning URL which we have copied from there, right? You need to copy from there again. It is actually in master branch by default, so we need to go to our feature branch. To do that, we can use git checkout as a command, and you need to provide this feature branch name, feature hyphen July 10. We need to go to our project path by using cd command, and then we need to go to our feature branch, feature hyphen July 10. See, now it will actually navigating to it is actually mapping to switch it to your feature branch July 10. Earlier it was by default master branch, now it is switched to your feature branch. Now you can check the files which are modified. See, it is showing this testing document.txt which we have added here. Okay, this is actually not available in remote repository, so that's why it is showing the status. Okay, you can commit this file. To do that, command is git commit -m, and message you need to pass. Message is mandatory to track your files. Okay, this file is not getting added actually. Okay, that was added in master branch earlier. Okay, we need to add that file again. Git add dot. So the file is getting added. Now if you can check git status, it will show you like new file. New file is getting added. Now you need to commit this file. Git commit -m initial commit 3. This commit message is mandatory to track the changes. So I clicked on enter. So this one file is committed and change it to your local repository. Now we need to push these changes to remote repository. To do that, by using git push origin. We have already added this origin URL as the central repository URL, right? So now we can just use git push origin and click on enter. Now what will happen is like this changes all the files which we have committed to our local repository will be added to central repository. Now if you can go to this central repository Azure page, you can refresh the page. You can see this file is getting added. Okay, likewise you can actually play with these git commands. I'll provide you all these commands in description box. uh, so so today we discussed like how to commit the code and how to clone the code, how to check in the code, and how to check out the code from central repositories to local repositories. In our next part of the video, let's see how to create a build pipeline, release pipeline in by using Azure DevOps, and how we can do the deployments. Okay, thank you. Happy learning. Please subscribe, share, and like our channel for more